Welcome to another program in our series, Freethinking Forum. I'm Bill Weir, the producer and host, and I'm delighted to have with me today Christopher Sims, a poet and agitator.
Yes, sir. Good to be here, Bill. Thanks.
You've done a marvelous job this past weekend of enthralling people with your poetry.
Thank you.
And I thought that more people would want to hear what you have to say in your poetry. Would you like to begin, first of all, telling us a little bit in preface to each of the pieces?
Sure. Yeah, we have multiple pieces here that I'll be sharing today with you, Bill. And this particular piece, I Am a Poet, is actually the first poem that I memorized to perform. It goes way back to my early performance career as a poet, spoken word artist, 20-year career. So should we jump right into I Am a Poet?
Right.
And actually, I have this piece memorized, so
we won't look at it.
I don't even need to look at it. So I look at you, Bill?
If you want.
Sure.
Oh, you can look at the other person at the table that's behind the red light.
Oh, great. Oh, I'll look at that person then.
Yeah.
I am a poet. I turn words into slaves, or better yet, sun rays. I engrave page after page after page with rhythmical rage. You see, once I engage, the page becomes my stage to wage wars of syllables, consonants, vowels, syllables, consonants, vowels. I howl in the thick of the night to conjure my poetical might. Each word written transforms into light. I am a poet. I dive deep into the infinite world of diction to bring forth image and vision. I'm a scientist who's always in the lab performing experiments with vocab. I am a poet. I'm a prophet of verb, creating logic with words. I must write and recite. I cannot resist the urge. I am a poet.
Beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Have other poets remarked on that poem?
Yeah, even Saul Williams, who's that famous Brooklyn, New York poet who's won slams and has a record deal, is recording poetry now. He told me that he liked my work, and that piece was included in that particular work. So I was honored by that, humbled by that.
Yes. Wow. It sounds fitting to me that good poets really like that. I bet my friend David Breeden likes it too.
Oh yeah, I think David likes it a lot, yeah.
So what should we go to next?
Probably I Was in Charlottesville is what I have here sitting in front of me. And I don't have this piece memorized, but that's quite okay because I'm used to the cadence. I write my poems kind of in a jazz cadence. So it gives me that control to slow up, go fast, slow up, go fast, or just remain steady.
That's an art to provide yourself with that opportunity.
It is.
So you're in Charlottesville.
This is entitled I Was in Charlottesville, and it's a true story. I was in Charlottesville during the mayhem, the marches, protests, the fighting, the screaming, the death, the mess, the death and the mess. I was in Charlottesville watching neo-Nazis right in front of me, acting as if they wanted to harm me. I was in Charlottesville, it was real, the atmosphere was ill. I watched as emotions build. It would have given you the chills. I was in Charlottesville, where our country clashed over the decision to take down a statue of Robert E. Lee, spearheaded by a young black teenager, but you don't hear that on TV. I was in Charlottesville, calm, collected, paying attention, listening and learning, yearning to be on the front line while my life was being protected the whole time. Closeness and newfound friendships were our lifeline, was my lifeline. I was in Charlottesville, right here, my spirit wants to do a dance. I'm in a trance as if my spirit resides in the body of a slave in the 1800s when Robert E. Lee lived in that state. When black folk were terrorized by bigotry and hate. I shake to get me out of that memory. It's post-traumatic slave syndrome in the 21st century. I was in Charlottesville with Lynn, Ann, Christina, Eric, and Alex when Heather Heyer died, when the couple who witnessed her death came to Thomas Jefferson Memorial Unitarian Universalist Church and cried. I was in Charlottesville with my brother Alvin Jacobs Jr. from Rockford, Illinois. We watched our democracy being destroyed when the police just sat in their cars, seeming to avoid all of the clear signs that someone that weekend could die, could die, could die. It was a perfect storm: history, culture, rage, resistance and hate, freedom of speech, people to reach and teach and evaluate, lies, confusion, and North American hate, bigotry, terrorism, a broken system, and a police who lacked structure and vision. Without preparedness, one would assume the situation was bound to go boom. I was in Charlottesville, being aware of my black being the whole time, looking out for anyone who wanted to take my life, taking my life. I was in Charlottesville, a city of 50,000 people in our 10 states. Never could you have imagined such division, such hate. The weight of our democracy existed right in its center. It was hot outside then, but it felt cold like winter. I was in Charlottesville, unharmed, peaceful, quiet, but everywhere around me seemed loud like a riot. I was in Charlottesville, and every bit of that city is now in me. I have the ability to return. We will be Charlottesville as the Constitution of this country burns in the minds of its people. We witnessed that weekend hate turn into evil, the unbelievable. I was in Charlottesville. I pray for Charlottesville. I meditate for Charlottesville. I hope everyone heals in Charlottesville. Heather Heyer died while I was in Charlottesville.
Powerful.
Thank you.
Reminder to us of the tensions that we must face and resolve.
I agree.
Do you have any more comment on that one, or do you want to introduce the next one?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. A letter to my unborn black son.
Yes, that's an interesting letter.
Yeah, and thanks. I don't have any children, Bill, so.
A lot of insight, though,
Yeah, I have
for
some.
a future son.
Yeah, I have some knowledge and information that I can pass on to my future son, and it's in this letter here.
Good.
Dear son, African American warrior, reincarnation of the people of the Sudan, I hope you understand why I am writing you this letter. And hopefully by the time you read it, race relations in America are a lot better than what they are now. You will understand while I will beg you not to wear a hood when you leave our home. You will understand why I ask you to be careful outside of these doors. Maybe your best friends will be named Trayvon and Michael, and they will be the namesakes of the young men who died because of indifference and because of hate. Dear son, I know you will relate because I will have read to you the autobiography of Malcolm X, to you while you were in your mother's womb. You will come into this life knowing that black youth and men are doomed in America. Son, I hate to scare you, but your ancestors were taken from the shores of Africa. They snatched your great-great-great-great-grandparents and brought them here. Took away your language, our language and culture, and then black women and men instilled fear. Son, I want you to know the truth of this place here. Dear son, your skin will be the reason why they call you nigger, why cops will pull up to your car with their fingers shaking on the trigger. Ask Trayvon and Michael. They will tell you what happened to the people they were named after, you were named after. They will tell you tales of hell, each with a sad, sad chapter. Black boys and men are being killed, and we are being treated like we don't even matter, like we don't even matter. Son, I am preparing you for a world that focuses on race, that moves at an unhealthy pace, where your mother and other black women like her are disgraced. There are people who will want you to increase the prison population. They will start early on in your education. Son, this is all truth and it's all real. You will learn when I read to you what happened to Emmett Till. I write this letter to you because I want you to come into this world informed and prepared. I don't want you to be scared.
Wow.
Heavy letter to my
Heavy letter.
future son.
Yeah. And is anything improved since you wrote that?
I think things have gotten a little worse, Bill, to be honest.
Worse?
Yeah, more deaths by cops killing young people of color, even, maybe more than just men, but women too. So I don't see things being any better since I wrote this, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And from my perspective, I mean, it must seem incongruous that I might think things would be better. I haven't been in touch with that.
Yeah, on that level, things aren't better. But what I do love about, you mentioned Congress and maybe even the Senate, there have been a lot more women elected to be politicians, and I think that whole dynamic will help change things.
Yeah. I sure hope so. And I'm trying to figure out where I can help make it so.
Tutoring young black children,
Yeah.
speaking up when you hear somebody say something that's
There's
bigotry or hateful. Those kinds of things definitely help. Showing up at a Black Lives Matter march or encouraging the Black Lives Matter chapter here in Minneapolis. Things on that level.
Good. I hope you mention any other things we can do, too, from
Yes.
your perspective.
Yes, sir.
Now, the next poem I have here that might, how can we make peace sexy?
Oh, awesome. Can I borrow that copy there, Bill?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. I don't have it in my stack here. This piece is loved by especially the folk in Rockford, Illinois, where that's where I was born and raised, and that's where I wrote this poem. So how can we make peace sexy? And here it is. How can we make peace as sexy as Denzel Washington brandishing a gun or a bomb? How can we make peace as sexy as Tom Cruise, Will Smith, Gwyneth Paltrow, or Angelina Jolie? How can we make peace sexy so to it the masses pay attention, so that to a leader who speaks about peace, our children and youth listen, listen. I find it uncomfortably necessary to make peace as sexy as Halle Berry. How can we make peace sexy enough to make gun lovers salivate over it, enough to support an effective Department of Peace? Department of Peace. How can we make peace sexy, like half-dressed car models, expensive cognac or sleek beer bottles, the hot new in vogue teenage band, a well-known soap opera star, so that about peace we want to understand? How can we make peace something that's constantly in demand? How can we make peace sexy, sultry, hot, steamy, dreamy, to die for, to make people come back for more? Make it so sexy that no one will ever remember or think about war. How can we make peace sexier than a fast red car so that it is not considered strange or bizarre? I take a deep breath, then slowly release, wondering how do we create a sexy peace? Our schools, our streets, our neighborhoods, our communities, our cities, our world needs peace. That's
yes.
that poem.
I've been working with some people that want a Department of Peace in our federal government.
Can you introduce me to those people, please?
Okay.
It'd be awesome.
Now, I've got a couple of more of your poems here, but we're only at halfway through. So do you want to read The Pebble in the Pond now, or do you want to talk a little bit about your views? And
Let's do that. Let's talk about my views or some of the stuff, the thoughts that we may share together.
yeah. Well, I think making peace sexy, how can we do that?
Yeah, that's my question too. It's actually, I'm asking that question, but peace in itself, it's an idea that, I don't know, it'd be hard to make sexy unless you dressed it up some kind of way. But I'm thinking, even intellectually, Bill, how can we make it peace sexy? Do you have any ideas, thoughts?
Not right now. I think you you covered a lot of things that could be, maybe, if we stretch it. But I'm also supportive of an organization called Interfaith Peace Force, International Peace Force, and they train people to stand between people that would otherwise be warring with each other.
Wow.
And how to establish relationships with both sides, and they're clearly identified, and somehow those people can establish enough peace between two groups of people that would otherwise be warring with each other, that many other organizations, UN organizations, nonprofit, food groups, can come in and improve the situation for both sides. And nonviolent peace force, I think, is part of what makes it maybe not sexy, but these are men and women that are risking their lives, highly trained. So I look forward to introducing you to them as well.
Great, I would love to.
Headquartered right here in this metropolis.
Wow, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to meeting them and learning more about them.
So maybe it might be time to go on to be the pebble in the pond. You have that one?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know, when you're a writer, you know, you place yourself in that, you're sitting down, or you might be standing up, but, you know, there are poems that you write that you can definitely remember writing, and you can feel them in your bones. And for sure, this piece is one that has done that for me. This is Be the Pebble in the Pond. And I try to be succinct and clear with my language in this poem. Be the pebble in the pond that creates the ripple for change. Be the pond containing the pebble that feels the earth's pain. Pain that comes from a deep sadness when people think they can own or gain sole access to water. Water that has been in North America for century after century, that has belonged to indigenous communities who use water with incredible harmony and unity. Unity that defies ownership, dictatorship, and classism. Unity that is needed for a collective vision. Watch the precious pebble float to the bottom of that pond. Honor the truth of a people who knows the use of water is beyond most of our understanding. The pond is the womb that carries the hopes of the pebble. We are but mere spirits existing on Mother Earth as vessels who need water to exist. Therefore, we should be doing everything in our power to lift the gifts of water, 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 water. And that's that poem.
A lot of insight there. And
thank you.
This is Indigenous Peoples Day.
Oh, fantastic.
In Minnesota and many other states.
That's right. I saw the Unitarian Universalist Association mention that on Facebook today.
Yes.
I'm glad I could share that piece then.
It's a good one in celebration of that insight that Indigenous people give us, all of us, their offspring as well as those of us who've come into this continent.
Yeah.
And in many ways abused the water and a lot more.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to have Indigenous people who are friends of mine or colleagues, and I've learned a lot from them, especially in the last year or two. And I'm humbled that I can call them friends and know that we're doing great work together.
Yeah. Now, we've got about 9 minutes left. Do you have some other poems that you'd like to share?
I do, and I got pieces memorized. So and those pieces I really love. So.
Good. Let's hear some of them.
Yeah, just like I am a poet, so I'll do the piece that I dedicated to you and your lady the other day.
Oh, really?
I met her at a bookstore.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll share that one. It's a story. I met her at a bookstore amidst the aroma of coffee, laughter, and conversation. Somehow our eyes met. We began to admire and respect one another's presence. In essence, I considered at first glance a chance for my soul's salvation. Clearest to me was the sunshine of her smile and the beauty of her dimpled cheeks, which caused me to stumble over my speech from time to time. You see, her laughter was liquid upon the jazz that played lightly in the cafe. I, Christopher Donchell Sims, couldn't have had a better day. She saw me sipping green tea serenely and wanted to meet me. Me? Turns out that she beat me to the last copy of Pablo Neruda's On the Blue Shore of Silence, you see. That's how we met. Her hand touched mine, and in that brief moment in time, we seemed to marry one another. I found myself smothered under the glory of her greatness, singing silently in a blanketing bliss of love's unpredictable beauty. I met her at a bookstore. I met her at a bookstore. I met her at a bookstore. My life has changed forevermore. And that's it.
Oh, yes. I, my sweetheart and I often go to a bookstore.
Oh, awesome.
And admire other people as well as what we find in the books. It's a great experience to meet in a bookstore. You maybe that's all I want to say right now, but
And I'm thinking there are a lot of sexy things that go on in the bookstore. I think intelligence, smartness is a very sexy thing. How about yourself,
indeed.
Bill?
Yeah. So do you have another one memorized?
I do, and this one is a little longer, but
Well, we got just under 7 minutes.
oh yeah, we got lots of time then. And so this is getting intimate with your words. Your words make love to me. And it's a sensual piece, and it's a little longer, but when I become fused, settled into your wordplay, the most beautiful things serenade my soul. I feel like an innocent child, gleefully discovering certainties of living carefree. Automatically, I want to cuddle in your grammatical chemistry and let it comfort, caress, consume, and console me. I want to lay next to your devastating diction and let it breathe softly on my neck and whisper sweet things, then smile about it in my dreams. I want to smile when I hear your spoken word harmony, charming me and disarming the strength I possess, and let each and every word baptize my being and cleanse my soul like water. Because your words are windsoft aloft the clouds, sweet genuine amidst the sunshine, clever daffodils that cast spells at will. And through them I see the science of hieroglyphics, discover all ancient mysteries, learn of all things important and intricate. Make love to my mind, you word warrior, syllable soldier, lyrical enforcer. Transform me with traditional griotic telepathy. Feed me the vital, venomous vocabulary that I need to proceed. And that's it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, when I was thinking about that poem, Bill, I wanted to write something beautiful, so thank you.
Yeah. And you, so much. Maybe I want to read that to my sweetheart. Yeah.
I'll send you a copy.
Well, good. Thank you. And we got about 5 minutes. What other poem that you memorized or that you have in your folio?
Let's see. Oh, I love jazz music. I'm a huge jazz music fan.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that my cadence is jazz-like and all through and through for sure, besides having kind of a hip-hop cadence too. So this is Jazz Just From Her Tongue. I saw a picture of a woman singing. She looked like a jazz singer on a website. And as soon as I saw that picture, it said Jazz Just From Her Tongue. So I just took it and ran with it. So here it is. Jazz drips from her tongue like staccato renditions of Coltrane melodies. Heavily concoctions of curing charisma melts from her melodic tongue. She be warm with words, wonderful with wisdom and enchantment. I feel a fiery enhancement when she speaks to my soul like sultry jazz beats. Her speech personifies passion. When she opens her mouth, images of jazz clubs conquer your spirit. So sister be slick, hip. I get high off her hues of various verbal voodoo. Off her tongue, music slides, 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 takes you on rides of rhythmic fantasies. She'll make you bare your spirit without even having to ask you. Her sweet secretions are honeydew drenched, hot and intense, makes me flinch. I want to explore my every inch and then pinch myself to make sure that it is real. I want to reveal to her my fears, my secrets, my dreams, my passions, and my hopes, just to get a quick shot of her dopeness. I want to elope with Miss because she's Sarah Vaughan reincarnate. Her jazz gibberish is like black licorice, and I want to melt it and drink it like water. That's it.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah,
Oh,
that jazzy.
I hope I can see videos of these poems, of you delivering some of these poems, with the backgrounds showing us how you conceive of the images that you are making.
That would be fantastic. And if there's anybody in the Minneapolis area, St. Paul area that's into videography that can help me with that, I would love to do that. And I'll be back in November for another event. So I'm a collaborator and a networker. So if there's anybody that is into video that I can work with to help make that possible.
Well, maybe there's one or two here at this station.
That would be
The
fantastic.
community television. So, yeah, I'll keep my eye out looking for them.
Thank you.
And we also have the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Film Festival that draws people who can illustrate poetry.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
Can you send me the dates for that?
oh yeah, and in preparation for it, maybe help you team up with somebody who will be putting something of their production into the film festival.
Oh, that would be fantastic. And I
maybe,
love film.
maybe your poetry.
That would be great. I would love
Yeah.
that.
Well, this has been a wonderful session of getting acquainted with you, Christopher, and I hope a lot more people get acquainted with you and come to appreciate what you're capable of doing with words.
Thank you, sir.
It is magnificent.
Thank you.
So, thank you for tuning in. I'm Bill Weir, and I hope you soon see Christopher Sims in print and get a chance to read what he has to say.
Thank you.
So,